All right, check this out. This is going to be much shorter than the last video. I will get straight to the point. This is for those that are interested in HackRF Sweeper. It was mentioned on the RTL SDR blog, I don't know, about a week ago maybe. And I have the HackRF set up with, it's probably like a 2.4 and 5 gigahertz antenna on it. You probably are familiar with some of the things in DragonOS, such as Q Spectrum Analyzer is a tool that I've set up with a back end of HackRF Sweep. You can sweep across well in this case 0 to 6 gigahertz with the HackRF. Don't quote me on it. I think it's at 8 gigahertz a second sweep speed. I can't remember off the top of my head, but so you probably are familiar with this. There's another tool in DragonOS just called HackRF Sweep, I believe. Both do very similar things. Well, this is another way of doing it, and yeah, I thought it was pretty interesting. There's a couple things that are needed in DragonOS as we look down through the documentation here. Lib message pack dev and libc ZMQ was really the only thing that I needed to add. So if we do a sudo app install lib message pack -dev and libc ZMQ -dev, that's all you're going to really need to add there. Other than that, you can do a user level, do a pip3 install message pack. If you do sudo, of course, installs it system-wide, but that brings with it some other concerns. So I'm just doing, in this case, just a normal pip3 install message pack. Let's git clone this repository down. I'm just in my downloads folder. Normally I'll probably build things in user source for distribution in DragonOS. Matter of fact, I'll just go ahead and do that. Although if I do that, I need to use sudo to, oops, change into our HackRF Sweeper directory. If you didn't stick it in user source, then ignore needing to use sudo there. Make a directory. I'm gonna build that. It's a very quick build. Yep. We're gonna make it, and I'm going to do a sudo check install just so I can keep track of this. Should I? Yep. I'll do a number 2 and call it HackRF Sweeper. So, do you want me to list them? No. Should I exclude them from the package? Yes. That's going to make a Debian package there and install it. And then just do a sudo ld config at the end. Let's clear that screen out. Now, where it was a little confusing reading down through these directions, where it talked about optionally creating a ZMQ certificate, which I actually hadn't done before. It wasn't very obvious until I started looking at the code itself to see how to create it, which honestly, if there's no key, it'll make it basically. So I didn't realize that, but let's for example, let's see, let's make a directory. Actually, okay, now that it's installed, I'm just going to go home dragon. Yeah, I don't know, just home dragon's fine, just so I don't have to use sudo, because those tools are installed now to the system. So Sweeper, ZMQ, you see. So matter of fact, let's go ahead and create this key. So if we make a directory, test keys like it's talking about there. Let's see, it's not really straightforward. Let's just make a file called server.key that's in there. I'm just using touch just to make that. Now if we do HackRF Sweep, oh, the other thing is HackRF info. Make sure you got a firmware version 2023 or newer with the latest DragonOS. All right, keep remembering all these things. So Sweeper, ZMQ, let's do test keys server, and I think it's gonna say, hey, it's not found loading certificate, so it failed, so it created a certificate, and that's what we want. If we wanted to use the certificate based connection, I guess, between the two, because keep in mind, I could be running this HackRF Sweeper ZMQ pub on this War Dragon like I'm doing it right now. Now I haven't tested it, but it should be fine, and I could remote connect to this this ZMQ publisher that's publishing there. Although now thinking about it, I'm not sure what port it's publishing on. Maybe it's the default, some kind of default port. Oop. Let's user source HackRF Sweeper demo. Let's do a Python 3 HackRF. I just want to see server address. It must be okay, so it's using a default port of 555. Okay, so you should be able to remotely connect to this. Of course, if you had the networking set up right. If you're on a local area network, then you just put the IP address and you're going to connect and probably see what I'm about to show you here. So we have the publisher running. Now let's do our connection here, which, let me look at it again. So I'm not worried about the server address. Let's do key directory, which was in home dragon test keys, and I guess we'll do a -p, and again home dragon test keys server.key, I believe is what was made. Now the other thing is, I feel like, let's see, I'll show you. So at this point it should be working. I'll give it a second here. And so you're going to have that sweep. You can see as it builds up here, the frequency running from left to right. You've got your dB on the left, peak last, peak max. So you got all this information here. You got this little graph being plotted out here as far as the frequency, detections and the dB. I don't really like all this printing to the screen. I don't think that that's necessarily needed. So down here in this while loop here, I don't need this print unpacked data. Yeah, that was right below listening for data. Yeah, let's comment that out. Oops. All right, so it finds the key pairs. It's applying the curve certificates listening. Yep, with curve encryption. There we go. So that was pretty easy, straightforward. I'm probably going to test this out a little bit more. Would love to see how it does over a remote connection. I can't imagine it's using much bandwidth. I'm sure I could check, but yeah, there you go. HackRF Sweeper. Cool.